You've just been rushed to the ER. Your newborn baby is still at home. You're lying in the hospital bed for more than 24 hours, waiting for answers, terrified, confused, scared, not knowing if you're going to get better, not knowing if they're going to be able to save you, not knowing if you're ever going to get back to your little baby. Luckily, the doctors found the problem, they fixed you, you were released, and you got to, go home to your baby. But once you got there, something felt off. Not just with your body, but with the relationship with your mother-in-law. She starts to not respond to text messages, not really come by to visit, and then she just stops coming by altogether. So you have your husband ask her, what's up? And she just simply says, well, I didn't like all the rules around the baby, so I just distanced myself. This is Erin's story, and she's looking for help because she is at a crossroads with her mother-in-law and she doesn't know what else to do. So Erin has always had a very close relationship with her mother-in-law. So let's back up so you understand kind of how special this relationship is. Erin entered the family in 2016. She brought 2 precious little girls with her from a previous relationship. And right away, her and her mother-in-law just hit it off. Her mother-in-law just became grandma immediately, loved Erin's daughters like her own, which obviously just melted Erin's heart even more. And so from 2016 until late 2024, when they had their little new baby, their relationship was perfect. But now they're having a baby in the winter. So once they get home, the 1 or 2 days that Erin was home before she had this traumatic event happen, they had rules. They had boundaries because they were worried about the flu. They were worried about RSV, germs, all that stuff. So they told the family, no kissing, wash your hands, all that stuff. Wear masks. And everybody respected that, those boundaries just fine. But it was the day or second day being home that Erin experienced some uncontrollable bleeding, and she was rushed back to the ER, and that's where she experienced that traumatizing event where, she's laying in bed postpartum with all those hormones pumping through your body. She's terrified, not knowing if she's ever going to get back to her baby. So when she finally does go back home, there's some more rules. Erin couldn't put the baby down. She was so just worried about being ripped away from her again. So nap times, feeding, she just wanted the baby on her. So this kind of, impacted when visitors would come over. Erin's mother-in-law would want to hold the baby and Erin would not want to give the baby up. So she didn't realize, because she's still in her own little bubble, just trying to, calm herself down still, because she's in survival mode after that rush to the ER and surgery and all that stuff. She's not realizing that is causing her mother-in-law to pull away more and more and more. So once it's brought to her attention, she sends out a message, a text message to her mother-in-law, and she's like, hey, I just realized you're not liking the rules that we have around the baby. I'm wondering if, you can tell me more about that. And then her mother-in-law kind of said something that made Erin feel a little bit bad, maybe she was to blame for this or something, but she was this is not something that we talk through text about, this is a conversation. And so Erin's oh, yeah, okay, let's talk about it. But then she hasn't heard back now, and it's been several days. So she's reaching out to us, and she's just I don't know really what to do here. All I know is I had no control over the way I responded once I got back to my baby after being ripped away and not knowing if I was going to reunite again. So she's just looking for some support, some insight, and how she can go about having a conversation that is productive with her mother-in-law. Okay, so first of all, Erin, I just want to tell you, how scary that would have been to be ripped away from your newborn and really not knowing for sure what's going on, if the doctors are going to be able to help you, and if you would ever see your baby again. That is absolutely traumatizing. But then it's even bigger with all of our hormones postpartum. So when you went home and you finally got your baby again, I feel I would have reacted the same way. I would have just been don't take my baby, right? So I very much was just, I saw myself in your story. If that happened to me, I feel I would have been the same way, just no one gets to have my baby. Plus, just with postpartum, we're amped up in different ways. And so we don't even know how that would have just compounded everything for you. Like that experience would have been even more intense for you. So that's just a lot. I just want to validate that. And I want to talk a little bit about your mother-in-law's experience through this, because she does sound like a heck of a lady and you've always had a great relationship with her. So on her side, it seems like, she would be going into this, like delivery and the arrival of her grandchild, like her third grandchild from a baby form. She's got to be a grandma to two little girls coming in already children. And now this is going to be her first experience like this. I am sure she had an idea of what this was going to look like and how she was going to be a hands-on grandma and just come over and help you and hold her, grandbaby and all this stuff. So I'm sure like this has also been really, really hard and painful on her, because it has looked nothing like the way that she thought it was going to be. And now the way that, she thought she would be able to be a grandma, it's just not going that way. And maybe she's kind of deciding like, it's not ever going to be that way. I don't know. I'm just trying to put some perspective and making sure that we all have compassion for both sides here. And then going into this conversation, if I lived your story and I came into a family with two little girls and they welcomed my daughters like their own and they welcomed me, and I had a solid, amazing relationship with my mother-in-law from 2016 to the moment I gave birth to 2024, like we are so close and she's done nothing to hurt me. She's always been supportive and we're really good. I would want to go into a conversation not so that she can understand me and what I'm going through, but I would want to go into a conversation to understand her and to really give her a place to explain to me what this has been like for her. Now, I say that because as humans, we want to be understood, but reading your email, you know yourself so well. You understand why you did what you did. You understand why you reacted the way you reacted, and you're not sorry for it because you were in survival mode and you shouldn't be sorry for it. Like, we don't know how we're going to respond to traumatic events, and then you add on top of that postpartum hormones. We don't know, and you've done the very best you can. So you know yourself, you understand everything. So going into the conversation trying to make her understand you, I just think like that's not a move I would make, because I would go into the conversation wanting to heal this relationship because she's such a big person in my life and has been since the beginning. So I would go there and I would just say, listen, this last year has not looked like either one of us has wanted it to. It feels so off. I don't want to feel disconnected from you. I don't want to feel distant. I miss you. And I just want you to know, like, I am trying my best. And I know that this has looked different and it feels different than what you probably thought it was going to. So I want to do less talking, and I just want to sit here and I want you to share with me, like, what has this been like for you? And this might not be popular, but I truly believe, based on the relationship you've had with her and how aware and insightful she has been this whole time with you, I believe after you let her talk, she's also going to come back and validate you, thinking, I actually don't know what I would have done if that would have happened to me. I probably would have done the same thing. And I believe on the back end of the conversation, she's going to come around without you even trying, and she will validate your experience through this without you having to say, hear me out, understand me. Those are just my thoughts. This seems like a very precious, really strong relationship worth saving. So that's what I would do. I would go to the conversation wanting to understand her. I would heal it, because she definitely sounds like an absolute fabulous woman and mother-in-law and supporter. And I just really hope this insight helps. I know the community is going to rally and have lots of good insight. I thank you for trusting us, and congratulations. I'm so happy that you're healing and everything is going better.